gets you back on, keeps you legal. Speedy Lube has 2 lanes to serve you, gets you in and out in no time, and vacuum your car while the oil is being changed, air conditioner checked, transmission flushed, wiper blades replaced if needed, even a top-of-the-line car wash, all at RS Speedy Lube, an inspection station, Railroad Avenue in Ruth. Take care of that car and have a safe trip.
When it's time to be reconsidering what's happening with your hearing, you might want to consider going to Miracle Ear over in Forest City and have that free hearing test, because it's amazing what you can find out. Maybe one ear, both ears, maybe nothing at all. Maybe you don't need anything any further than that. But if you're finding that hearing is losing your hearing and feeling isolated from groups, it's time maybe to have that done. At Miracle Ear office there in Forest City, just check and call and get an appointment made for that free hearing test. It'll be one of the best moves you've ever made. All right, we're up at Union Mills now. Brenda Kelly's on the phone with me right now. Brenda, good morning.
You having a time, are you?
Oh, I'll tell you right now. I don't know what's going on, but boy, I tell you, past 2 months has been absolutely
nerve-wracking.
Wonderful. No, I gotta keep thinking positive.
That's right. Well,
but we're back on now with FM 100.9 FM, but the AM's still burned out. It'll be a couple of days before that's back in.
Yeah, because lightning struck it, didn't it?
Yeah. And we're on the internet. If people can tune in on the computer, we're there for that too. So.
Yeah.
But I'm trying my best to stay out.
Keep a positive attitude.
I'm trying.
Well, let's see. I've got 66 degrees on the front porch this morning. We had 0.8 of an inch of rain yesterday. Birthdays today, I've got Caleb Crane, Stephanie Lynch, and Nathan Bagg. On Round Hill, it's Peggy St. Clair's birthday, so we hope all these people have a great old big day and their special day. And I've got announcements. Gilkey All-Class Reunion and Community Event will be Saturday the 29th at starting at 3 p.m. They'll be serving barbecue. They're going to have a raffle drawing at the reunion. And somebody was supposed to have called and told me about this, but I never got a message. But that's in the morning, so everybody can go out to that. And then we've got 3 lost beagles from Camp Creek Road. If found, call 286-7692. And other than that, I don't have nothing.
You know, one of the frustrating things, too, about what's going on, you get people to try to give you estimates on how to repair things, how to get things done, and how to change services and those kind of things. Oh, yeah, we'll do that, and they'll call. I've been waiting on an estimate to do some switchovers over here for over a week now, and they have not gotten back with me on what it's going to cost, an estimate like that.
Well, you need to call somebody else.
Well, I'm just about run out of sources to call. Everybody seems to drag their behinds around. I was going to try to get some work done around the house in the yard, and asked a fellow to do that. He said he'd come out and do some estimates for me, and I waited. He never did come back with me, so I told him, I said, I guess you're just too busy to work on this, so I'll move ahead. So amazing how you can't get people who are in professional business to follow up on what they're supposed to do.
Well, that's true. It makes you wonder how they keep a business going.
Well, I bet you if the economy were slack, they'd be on Johnny on the spot.
That's it. But, they'd be looking for any way to make an honest dollar.
But we just move right along as though we got good sense.
I hear you.
And I hope you have a great day up there and a good weekend.
I hope things get better for you. Catch you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. 40 minutes after 7 o'clock on this fantastic Friday morning. I'll say that with tongue-in-cheek. Fantastic Friday morning. And we'll get to the next phone call in just a moment.
Gregory's Original Restaurant in the Park Lane Plaza is the perfect dining choice of Rutherford County. Greg offers all your favorite dishes. Try their delicious subs, grinders, pasta, chicken, burgers, fresh garden salads, and the most delicious steaks served with mushroom gravy or peppers and onions. Be sure to call on Gregory's for all your catering needs at 287-2171. Check out the website for menus and event information, www.gregorysoriginal.com. Gregory's increase in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherfordton. The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Now we'll check in over to Ellenboro and get Luther Gilligan's report from the Ellenboro Fire District. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning, you two. I'm having a great day down here.
Good for you.
But I'm having a problem with my Bose radio.
Well, don't feel like a Lone Ranger. We're having problems with all of our equipment up here.
Okay, that may be for the problem with my Bose radio.
Yeah, your Bose is probably okay. Had an engineer here all yesterday afternoon up until last night, and we still got some wrinkles in the shirt, but we'll get it through. We'll get work through. As long as folks can tolerate us and understand and be patient with us, we'll get some of these wrinkles worked out and it'll be better than ever.
Yeah, we just got to get the right iron on the wrinkles.
That's exactly right. So far, we haven't found the right iron yet. May have to go back to like my mama used to iron, one of those old irons, and put it on the hot stove and it get warm, and then she'd go iron a little bit till it got cold, and she'd stick it back on top of the stove again, go iron some more till it got cold. Did you ever do that?
Yep, 2 irons, one set on stove, use the other one.
Yep, exactly right.
Yeah, I have several of those. That turns wheel of them somewhere.
Yep, I've got one at the house somewhere too like that.
Yeah. The one we used to use for door stops.
Yeah.
And I did see one of them, she has her used for bookends.
Yep.
They make good bookends.
They're probably expensive to buy one.
They're good at iron shirts, too.
Well,
of course, you used to iron the sheets and pillowcases and all that.
Right.
Don't do that anymore. But hey, it's quiet down this morning, nothing happened. Everything is peaceful, probably nothing wrong. The fire department, they had 2 calls. Other than that, they're quiet this morning, nothing happened with them. We want everybody, the big tent revival starting down here Sunday evening at 6:30 over here at the school gym on Cherry Street. You can come in from either way off of Main Street or High Street or Cherry Street. Just come on out and have a good day. We're going to have 2 tents this year, one for the young people, one for the old people. So come on out. Then, too, keep in mind, the estate sale we're having Saturday morning from 7 to 4 at 193 Edinburgh Henrietta Road. That'll be right there at the last house inside city limits. And nothing else going on, but one wish happy birthday today. Kevin Hicks, he's having one, and Caitlin Prince is having one, and also Bob Honeycutt's having one. So hope they have a great day and enjoy their day. Hope you get your problem straightened out, and you have a great day.
Thank you, my friend. I'll see you next time.
Take care now.
Bye. That's Lou for the Gilligan reporting out of Ellenboro this morning. It's 7:45 and time to celebrate a birthday. Let's celebrate something. Let's make it your birthday. 28th of September is the day we're looking at. If you were having one, our anniversary, call that into us now. Todd's standing by to take that call, and we'll put all those names together and have a drawing for some delicious daylight donuts from Granny B's. It's just that simple. 287-3356.
43 years experience behind the name. Voted best of best 8 years. That's why folks depend on Hutchins Pest Control. You can call on Tim and his team for moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, air quality control, dehumidification, and of course, pest control, rats, fire ants, termites, wildlife removal, and so much more. Call them today for your free estimate. 287-3356. 5171. Get the job done by the professionals and relax. Hutchins Pest Control, honest, dependable, and on-time service.
At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. Well, they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Well, happy birthday to Catherine Dyer over in Ellenboro. Catherine is 85 today. And Peggy St. Clair up in Union Mills. And Annette Dalton over in Rutherfordton is also having a birthday today. Other folks celebrating on this 28th of the month is Caleb Crane, Stephanie Lynch, and Nathan Bagg. So happy birthday, happy anniversary to all y'all. We'll have a drawing in just a moment. Somebody's going to get to enjoy some delicious donuts from Granny B's, and that's straight ahead.
Gracious Living, Alexandra Stoddard tells us that the world is extremely interesting to a joyful soul. Happy people seem to always be busy people. They have a multitude of interests and are never bored themselves or boring to others. There aren't enough hours in the day to accomplish all the things they want to do. God created a beautiful world for us with so many fascinating parts. He filled it with stimulating people who have done remarkable things. He gave individuals active minds that are capable of absorbing tremendous amounts of information and performing great deeds. All this is available if people are curious enough to seek out that which is new and interesting. There are two kinds of people in the world, doers and sitters. The doers are busy exploring, questioning, learning, and then applying what has been learned. The sitters remain stationary and isolated, often waiting for the world to come to them. They lament constantly that there's nothing to do. Life is not worth living. It's so boring. Why bother? Poor me. One group experiences life to its fullest. The other lets life pass them by and they just exist instead of living life completely. A paraphrase of a familiar psalm could be, "This is the world the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." Which group do you belong to? This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
Big congratulations going out to Annette Dalton of Rutherfordton. Annette was the winner of the donuts this morning from Granny B's. Annette, congratulations. We'll have a certificate over here for you to stop by and pick that up and take it over to Granny B's. They got a full hour, next hour, big full hour packed in. Jay Coombs, Mr. Friday Night will be on the radio with me a little after 8 o'clock this morning to talk about tonight's lineup of high school football action here in the county and away games. So he'll be on with me a little after 8 o'clock. Following Jay Coombs, Keon Whiteside, who will be with me. Attended Chase High School, graduated from there, went to UT. From there, went to Indianapolis Colts, and he's had some really major success over the years in football. He was also awarded an entry into the Hall of Fame last night here in Rutherford County. We'll talk to him about that along with some other folks from our county that have been involved in sports. That include Todd Coffey, Vincent Hamilton, trap shooter Bill Keever, NASCAR driver Jimmy Means, basketball player Angela Hamilton-Jones, football player Keon Whiteside, contributor Dr. Bobby England, and baseball player Coach Harold Morris Gomer Hodge, now deceased. All those folks entered into the Hall of Fame. And Keon will be with us this morning a little after 8 o'clock, a little after Jay Coombs, right here on 100.9 FM, WCAB, and on the internet at www.wcab59.com.
Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world.
Everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. And under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. There is none so blind as he who will not see. We must not close our minds, we must let our thoughts be free. For every hour that passes by, you know the world gets a little bit older. It's time to realize that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night, snow-covered winter's day. Ah, sing it, children. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. We shouldn't care about the length of his hair or the color of his skin. Don't worry about what shows from without, but the love that lives within. We're gonna get it all together now. Everything gonna work out fine.
NCN News. I'm Tony Rixby. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and accuser Christine Blasey Ford spent hours Thursday testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee. The two were grilled by lawmakers regarding what Ford called an attempted rape by Kavanaugh when the two were in high school. The panel set to vote at 9:30 this morning on whether to send the nomination to the full Senate. Thane Rosenbaum is a legal analyst for CBS News.
Judge Kavanaugh presented himself as a man falsely accused. He was emotional and raw, and not legalistic or measured like we imagine the temperament of a federal judge. Indignant and defiant, he showed no hesitation to spar with Democratic senators who he apparently regards as his true nemesis and not the women who accused him of sexual misconduct.
Penny DePass, a retired Minnesota state employee, was protesting against Kavanaugh outside Senator Tom Tillis's office in Raleigh. DePass says the Kavanaugh nomination is galvanizing protesters in the Me Too era.
You have a group of baby boomers and Gen Xers and millennials who are like, we're not going to put up with this anymore.
The body of a 6-year-old boy who ran off from his father at a park near Gastonia has been found. Police say the body was found about 4 miles from the park. FBI Supervisory Chief Agent Jason Kaplan.
His father and mother were notified, and I'm very proud to say that the FBI special agents and victim service specialists who were there in conjunction with Gastonia police detectives to let them know before they heard it anywhere else that we believe that we have found Maddox.
The Interior Department says 76 people have been arrested on drug charges in a sweep of traffickers on a western North Carolina tribal area. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke says the operation began 2 weeks ago and culminated in recent days. You're listening to NCN News.
What's the best-selling small tractor in America? Kubota's BX Series Compact. Now get a BX 1880 for as low as $99 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to gokubota.com for more information.
Hey Hoops fans, basketball season is almost here and the 2018 ACC Basketball Preview Magazine is available for pre-order right now at ACCSports.com. Get the scoop on all the teams before the season starts with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Pre-order your copy today by going to on the pre-order banner.
Kubota's L2501DT packs powerful performance in one easy-to-operate compact tractor. Now get payments as low as $135 a month with 0% APR financing for 84 months. Now through December 31st, 2018. See us or go to gokubota.com for more information.
There's a new health danger across North Carolina after Hurricane Florence: mosquitoes. Governor Roy Cooper ordering $4 million to be spent on mosquito control efforts for counties that are under a major disaster declaration. Among those counties, Cumberland, Harnett, Hoke, Johnston, Robertson, Moore, and Sampson counties. The governor says the lingering rain only adding to the problem.
The torrential rains of Florence have created another health threat: breeding grounds for mosquitoes. To keep people safe from illnesses, I've directed state funding to counties to help them spray to keep mosquitoes away.
Residents can also spray insect repellent on their screen doors. Well, it's a win-win for migraine sufferers, a new drug designed to keep them away. More from CBS correspondent Peter King.
It's a new drug just approved by federal regulators. Eli Lilly says it'll sell it under the brand name Emgality. It's expensive. It costs nearly $7,000 a year, but the drug maker says it'll be free for the first year for patients with commercial insurance. That'll give insurers time to figure out how to cover it while patients get the meds they need. An estimated 39 million Americans suffer from migraines. Emgality is part of a class of drugs approved to prevent them. Peter King, CBS News.
Dutch police have arrested 7 men who are suspected of plotting a large-scale extremist attack in the Netherlands that prosecutors say they think had been foiled. The office says in a statement that the men were arrested by heavily armed Dutch police officers. A rap star proves his politics can go both ways. Here's Deborah Rodriguez.
Kanye West has offended many a fan by expressing admiration for President Trump.
I just love Trump. That's my boy.
Those fans may be confused after the rapper's visit to the New York offices of The Fader magazine. He wore a red Make America Great Again hat and a white sweatshirt with Colin Kaepernick's name and face on it.
Tony Rixby.
Get the first weather forecast every morning at 6:05 here on AM 59 WCAB Rutherfordton.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After all the emotion of the testimony from Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and the woman accusing him of sexual assault, Christine Blasey Ford, a vote's expected today. ABC's Mary Bruce says the Senate Judiciary Committee meets in about a half an hour.
This morning, Republicans are eager to move to a vote. With Judge Kavanaugh's fate hanging in the balance, what comes next depends on a handful of key senators. Republicans Jeff Flake, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski, who told us she needed to sleep on it. And red state Democrats like Joe Manchin. His His office says he is 100% undecided.
The view from the White House?
We have to move forward in this process, and Judge Kavanaugh deserves a vote, and that's where we are. The process has gone fully through, and the Senate needs to come together, and they need to do so quickly, and they need to put a vote to the floor.
That's Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. Judge Kavanaugh yesterday during his testimony.
This whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit, fueled with apparent pent-up anger about President Trump and the 2016 election.
ABC's Emily Rao says overnight a key group called for a delay.
The American Bar Association did issue a statement saying that the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh should be delayed until an FBI investigation has been reopened. A huge statement from that body, but still no word on if it will have any impact.
Tesla founder Elon Musk is now facing a new lawsuit.
Integrity is the most important value in my life, says Tesla CEO Elon Musk, denying wrongdoing after the SEC filed a fraud complaint against him. The SEC Stephanie Avakian says Musk misled investors last month when he tweeted that he had funding secured to take Tesla private.
Musk had not secured funding for the proposed transaction.
Brian Clark, ABC News, New York.
Investigators in South Carolina are looking for the cause of a jet crash in Greenville. 4 people were on board. Both of the pilots were killed. You're listening to ABC News.
A good night's sleep starts with the right pillow. That's where MyPillow comes in, and we're excited to announce the new 4-pack special. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and save 50% off the 4-pack, which includes 2 MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Use promo code SKY at checkout or call 1-800-635-1825. That's 1-800-635-1825. Or go to MyPillow.com, click the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code SKY at checkout.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
President Trump's expected to sign off on a new spending bill today.
There will be no government shutdown this month. President Trump is scheduled to sign the $854 billion spending bill passed overwhelmingly by the House and Senate. It keeps the government running through December 7th. The bill includes a full year of funding for the Pentagon and the Departments of Labor and Health and Human Services. But it does not include new money for the wall the president wants to build on the U.S.-Mexico border. Republican leaders have put off that fight until after the midterm elections. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Off the shores of Micronesia, officials say all 47 people on board a plane that hit the water are okay. One of the passengers on the plane, Bill James.
I thought we landed hard until I looked over and saw a hole in the side of the plane. The water was coming in, and I thought, well, this is not the way it's supposed to happen.
2 big earthquakes just hours apart have rocked Indonesia. The first was a 6.1 magnitude. The second recorded at 7.5. Officials say at least 1 person was killed by the first earthquake. Pot is now allowed at Los Angeles International Airport. Signs posted at LAX now say small amounts of marijuana are okay. But they also warn that any amount of marijuana is still a federal crime and it could be taken by the TSA. New warnings about the neckerchief slides used by the Boy Scouts. The organization is telling everyone who has one to return them because of high lead levels. This is ABC News.
It's time. Time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit Zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hey, what in the world are you eating?
A donut.
A donut? What's in it?
Ice cream.
Ice cream in a donut? What's it called?
What's it called? An ice cream stuffed donut. Duh.
Well, where'd you get it?
Jesse James Railroad Express.
Jesse James Railroad Express. Now, where in the world is that?
That's at 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Let's go get one, folks.
A little bit of rain continues to be in the forecast. We'll have mostly cloudy skies throughout the day today, and a couple of showers or isolated thunderstorms will be possible. Highs today climbing to the lower 80s. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy skies with some chance for a shower, with temperatures down into the upper 60s. And then Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds, just an isolated shower with highs in the low 80s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Amy. It is cloudy here in the foothills and 70 degrees. We have not budged since this morning. 70 degrees. We should be warming up nicely, though, about 9 more degrees. Well, a little bit more than 82 is our expected high, and possibility of more rain this afternoon and maybe tonight. But it's all clearing out of here. Weekend's going to be nice. Next week, no rain, even in the forecast so far. So it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful week next week. And this morning is another great getting up morning in the foothills. In spite of everything that's going on, we still have our breath in our lungs, and we have Jay Coombs on the radio this morning to talk about Friday Night Football. Good morning, Mr. Friday Night. Jay Coombs, how are you doing?
Well, doing good. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, sir. You are well and happy and ready for the nice games, I'm knowing.
Yeah, you scare me a little bit when you mention that R word.
Yeah. That's going to price us.
We've got homecoming tonight out at Chase, and certainly hope that the weather won't play a factor there. Our featured game of the night will be the Chase Trojans, who are 1-4. They will be hosting another 1-4 team tonight, Avery County, and this is homecoming tonight out at Chase. 7:30 kickoff. Looking forward to the game, to the broadcast. Other games in the area tonight. Let's keep our eyes on the East Rutherford Cavaliers. They were sitting 5-0, coming off that open date last week. Cavaliers travel over to Polk County tonight. They will face the 1-4 Wolverines. Good possibility East could improve tonight to 6-0 before they start conference play next week. And the Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy Griffins. They had a big conference win last week over Cherville, 38-20. They are 5-0, and of course 1-0 in the conference. They travel tonight to Pine Lake Prep. The Pride is 3-2 overall. They are winless in conference play, having lost their conference opener last week against Union Academy, 23-20. That was Coach Jerry Cash's 330th career win last Friday night in Avondale. Now in his 7th season at TJ, Coach Cash is 60-22, and that is an incredible feat. And we have an open date tonight for the RS Central Hilltoppers. Hilltoppers are sitting at 1-5. They have this week off. They will not play. And then they will open up conference play next Friday night when they travel over to Forest City to face East Rutherford.
Hello there.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. I thought we'd lost the signal again there for a minute. So everybody's in good health as far as you know on the teams. Nobody's badly injured. Everything's looking good for everybody.
Everything is looking pretty good going into this week. It's hard to believe, Jim, but this is week number 7. That means we are now starting into the second half of the season. Now, I may want to make a note of this in case fans have not heard. Earlier this week, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association did decide to postpone the playoffs by 1 week. Now, that's, of course, due to the flooding and the situation with the Hurricane Florence out in the eastern part of the state. Some of those games will have to be made up. So they're going to need a little bit of extra time. And so the week of November 9th, that is now scheduled to be a makeup week, and the playoffs will be delayed 1 week and will start on November 16th this year.
Okay, a lot of delays with that storm Florence. Messed a lot of things up.
Yeah, and I don't know. I understand they still have some problems out there with a couple of the schools, at least, where the field is not playable yet. Hopefully they can get that situation corrected and hopefully be able to make up some of the games that have been missed.
Joe, let me remind everybody it's very possible we'll be back on, but it doesn't look like it's going to be back on, that AM is going to be back on by tonight. Lightning ran in our transmitter the other day and knocked us off. Major problem with that. Bill, engineer, is ordering some parts. Hopefully they'll get here today, be back on by tonight. But if not, folks are going to have to depend on 100.9 FM or the internet to hear that game tonight. So it's unfortunate that's happened, but in this business, anything can happen.
That's true. Air conditioning in my building at the college decided to go out Tuesday.
Oh, boy.
Past couple of days have been very, very humid and somewhat miserable.
But we'll let folks know if we're back on with AM, but it doesn't look very promising at this point. But thank goodness we got 100.9, and we got the World Wide Web at www.wcab59.com. In just a moment, Jay, when we finish our conversation, one of former Chase High School standouts, Keon Whiteside, is going to be my guest this morning. We're going to be interviewing him about being inducted into the Hall of Fame last night.
And I remember Keon's playing days well.
Yes.
In fact, those Chase teams back in the late 90s, those were probably some of the best local teams that we've had in my 23 years of doing this.
Thanks so much for your work you're doing, Jay, with high school football and keeping us informed. We look forward to tonight's game, and be safe in everything you do, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Thanks. Bye-bye. As Jay Combs, Mr. Friday Night, reporting in to us this morning. It's 11 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Life is full of precious milestones, but if you can't be there, we can. With a life insurance policy from Farm Bureau Insurance, you can be sure your family knows that you're always watching over them. Talk to your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent today and let us help secure your family's future. Get real auto, home, life, and health insurance. Get Farm Bureau Insurance.
Call Toby Maxwell today at 828-287-6850. That's 287-6850. Have you heard the 3 big lies about Medicaid eligibility? First, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Second, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. That's not true. And third, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. That's not true. Please call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Ken Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm for a free consultation and learn the truth about Medicaid and eligibility and nursing home care in North Carolina. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify and not lose everything you own. Call the Arledge Law Firm today at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton. Again, that's 287-3338. Come on over and experience the authentic family-owned Mi Pueblito. Delicious hot meals and daily specials served fresh every day. Mi Pueblito is one of Rutherford County's favorite places to dine. They have been voted #1 best Mexican restaurant in Rutherford County. Enjoy taco salads, burritos, quesadillas, enchiladas. Many popular lunch specials are the all-time favorite, fajitas. They have something for everyone, even the hard-to-please amigo. Great service, warm atmosphere, full-service bar, and a large party room available. 2 locations to serve you: South Washington Street in Rutherfordton and Oak Street Extension in Forest City. Or visit them anytime at meatpubs.com. That's meatpubs.com. Visit Mi Pueblito, Mexican cuisine at its finest. I'm a big fan. Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325.
The flu season will soon be upon us, and Smith Drugs of Forest City is ready to provide these immunizations at the drugstore at your convenience. We will bill your insurance, and one of our pharmacists can administer the vaccine to you Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and on Saturdays by appointment only. Remember that a flu immunization is the best way to prevent getting the flu, in addition to washing hands, covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze, and staying home when you are sick. Prepare yourself and protect those around you with a flu immunization this year. Come see us at Smith Drugs of Forest City, 139 East Main Street.
It's 8:15 here on WCAB 100.9 FM and on the internet at www.wcab59.com. And as promised, I have a special guest in the studio with me this morning, Keon Whiteside, a retired NFL linebacker. Whiteside graduated from Chase High School in 1998, and while attending Chase, he played football, basketball, and ran track. His honors included being named All-Western North Carolina and All-Piedmont 2 times and All-County 3 times. As a football player, he ran for 1,561 yards and made 18 touchdowns under the coaching of Randy Page. He was inducted last night into the Rutherford County Sports Hall of Fame, and he's with us in the studio this morning. Keon, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you on. I remember talking to you a long time ago. I used to say, I remember when you were a little kid, but you were never a little kid in my eyes. You always. You've had a illustrious career over the years. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
What did it mean to you last night to be inducted into that?
Last night was a great honor. As I mentioned last night when I gave my speech, just to stand before, so many great individuals from Rutherford County and athletes that came before me as well and with me. Me and Todd Coffey was at Chase together. It just meant a lot. A lot of hard work went into it. A lot of people loved and supported me along the way to help me get to reach my goals, dreams, and aspirations. So just to see it all come to fruition, to have people who thought I was worthy enough to be inducted into the Hall of Fame really meant a lot.
Yeah, along with Keon, Todd Coffey, Vincent Hamilton, Bill Keever, Jimmy Means, Angela Hamilton-Jones, and Dr. Bobby England. And Coach Harold Morris, Gomer Hodge he's deceased now, of course, but he was also injured last night. So you were walking around with very influential people last night. Quite an honor. Did you, growing up in the Chase community, did you ever expect to be an NFL star? Was that one of your dreams?
That was one of my dreams. It's one of those things where I spoke about have definite chief aim. I know I set a goal, talked to a few people, like, hey, I want to go to NFL. What do you think? They would kind of stare at me, and I get the odds game, the number of percentage of people that actually can make it to the NFL, but I just I thought to myself the moment I started believing it, I'm like, I can do this. So just started working a game plan and just kept my head down and looked up one day and sitting here with you this morning. So.
And that's quite an inspiration to give out to a lot of young guys too. If you believe it, you want to do it, make it happen, go for it. That's a great inspirational note. And you could be a motivational speaker. Do you do some of that?
Not on a consistent basis. Just when I'm asked to. I try to go to some schools here and there. I speak at some community events that help promote youth. And so I just want to give back and, possibly, make an impact in other people's lives as so many people has done for me as well.
Your career was quite colorful. Of course, a lot of accolades went to you. You went through basically uninjured, didn't you? You didn't have any major injuries, did you?
I did. I had a few. I tore my ACL in college, my freshman year. And then when I got to the NFL, my third year against Kansas City playoff game, I tore my right knee, had patella tendon. So I had a few injuries that I had to battle back from, but to be expected with the game.
Well, the fact after you left professional football, you went into the career. What are you doing now?
So I'm into digital marketing. I am the director of digital service for a full-service marketing firm in Indianapolis. I love helping people reach their goals, their target audience, and their personas. So it's very interesting, ever-evolving industry, so I love it.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I always like to grab opportunities like this. You're having come from National Football League. What's your thought on taking a knee at the national anthem at football games when the national anthem is played? What do you think about that?
I think it's up to each individual. I think that for me, I don't have an issue with standing and putting your hand on your heart for the national anthem, but I know that America means so much to so many different people. Veterans fought to give us the right to have a choice, to have an option. And even though there's great and evil in all places, I think to give people that opportunity and platform to silently protest if they so choose is their right, but also respect other individuals' rights as well.
You have your son with you here today. Is he going into professional football as well? If he's in wrestling, I noticed he has his wrestling shirt on.
I don't think that's his path or whatever. But maybe one day he might, kind of venture into it. But I'm so proud of him. He's wrestling right now. He's got his eye on Penn State. He's worked really hard this summer trying to achieve his goal. And most of all, I'm just proud of the person that he is as an individual and the work that he's done in the classroom.
Yeah. How many children do you have?
I have 3.
3 children.
Yep.
And live in Indianapolis?
Yep, living in Indianapolis. A little different from being in North Carolina.
A little different from Chase County.
It really is. You don't have to ask if you're going to get snow. It's how much you're going to get. It's a little different.
Well, Ken, we're proud of you, and congratulations on this honor that you received last night and all of the honors you've received over the years. You're somebody that we can be proud of from right here in Rutherford County.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was an honor having me on.
A lot of young men.
Thank you.
We have that Sheriff's Report coming up in just a moment. Stand by. 21 minutes now past 8 o'clock. Fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the state of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. You can have your floors looking the way you want them to look for those holiday parties coming up, holiday guests coming in. Get the floors you want from Southern Carpet. That's what they do. They're in the flooring business. Carpet and floor covering of all sizes, all kinds, and all budget-proof floors. Just let them know how much money you want to spend. They can work something out for you. Carpets, hardwoods, laminate, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, sheet vinyl, and they're there to help you find what you're looking for. Come out and do a free measurement. They're proud to offer American-made products whenever possible, and they'd love to do something for you to get your house ready for those guests coming in. Have it looking the way you want to look with new floors. Thanks to Southern Carpet, they're so available. And they're right here in Rutherford County, and they're homegrown, locally owned, and this would be a smart decision for you to do business with the Tony family. That's Southern Carpet. You'll find them over in Forest City. 1512 West Main Street, Forest City. Phone number is 245-0310, and you can also find them on the web at southerncarpet.net.
It was September 27, 1869. Wild Bill Hickok was the sheriff in Hays City, Kansas. Samuel Strawham and a half-dozen teamsters came to town, got drunk, and started wrecking John Bitter's Beer Saloon.
Do you need some extra money in your pocket? Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
Call them off, folks. Call them off. Call them off. It's going to be all right. Almost 25 minutes after the hour, and the sports update coming up just a moment.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Miami tied a school record with 3 defensive touchdowns last night as the U downed North Carolina 47-10 in South Florida. UNC's defense gave up an average 11 yards per play, nearly, to Miami in the first half. Coach Larry Fedora asked why the Heels D played like a screen door on a submarine in the first 30 minutes.
I know we had more missed tackles in this game than we've had in the past, probably all the previous games. They ran the ball very well, especially in the first half, so we'll have to go back and look and see if we misfit what we did.
Chad Surratt made his season debut after serving a 3-game suspension for selling team shoes. He relieved North Carolina's starting QB, Nathan Elliott, early. Surratt rushed for a touchdown, but he was intercepted 3 times. He accounted for half of the Tar Heels' 6 overall turnovers. They also had 3 fumbles. Elliott was put back into service for the rest of the game, but by that time it was already over.
I have a great football team. We just gave them the ball too many times in every way, so we got to be better at that. I think we beat ourselves. We just got to do the little things right.
It was a super shootout in Los Angeles to open Week 4 of the NFL. Jared Goff passed for a career-high 465 yards and 5 touchdowns and winning a duel against Kirk Cousins as he led the unbeaten Rams to a 38-31 victory over Minnesota. Rams coach Sean McVay says Goff played outstanding.
You could just see he had a great command, great poise all night, and it was impressive.
Cousins passed for 422 yards and 3 touchdowns in the loss for the Vikings, who dropped to 1-2-1. They were barely beaten, and they were a preseason conversation piece as a team that could represent the NFC in this year's Super Bowl. The New York Yankees have moved a step closer to hosting next week's AL wildcard game. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays yesterday 12-1, and they hold a tiebreaker, which means another win and an Athletics loss. The game would be in the Bronx. This is NCN Sports.
The annual Big Tailgate Tour, driven by Continental Tire, is on the road again.
Our Big Tailgate Tour has another big game this week as New Hampshire visits FCS Power Elon on Saturday. Find our Continental Tire tents from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. right next to Rhodes Stadium as we tailgate and talk football before kickoff.
Pick up free koozies, t-shirts, and more from Sport Clips, Lose It and Lose It, and Continental Tire. Remember to drive with care on your Continental Tires and experience the ultimate MVP haircut at Sport Clips.
Tailgate with us. BigTailgateTour.com.
Our friends and neighbors need your help. Nearly 20% of our state's population has been affected by the flooding and powerful winds brought on by Hurricane Florence, and the damage is still mounting. The recovery effort will take time and resources are needed. If you were fortunate to miss major damage, you can help. The Red Cross, Salvation Army, and other organizations have already mobilized and need your support. Go to redcross.org or salvationarmyusa.org. Thank you. Together, we can rebuild lives.
Eric Reed is back in the NFL. The Carolina Panthers have signed the free agent safety to a 1-year contract. Reed filed an official grievance letter with the NFL in October 2017, alleging the team owners and the league colluded to prevent him from being employed due to his protest activities. Reed, along with Colin Kaepernick, participated in protests during the playing of the national anthem before NFL games to highlight social awareness and racial injustice. The NHL is investigating the Philadelphia Flyers forward Jori Lehtera as a report is being questioned in connection with a drug bust in his native Finland. Deputy Commissioner of the League Bill Daley said the league is investigating the situation. Lehtera's lawyer said Thursday he expects police to release a statement clarifying some misunderstandings that came out of the report. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
A little bit gloomy out there today. A couple of showers will be possible, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, and we'll have mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. Highs will climb into the lower 80s. Overnight tonight into Saturday morning, mostly cloudy skies, a slim chance for rain with low temperatures in the upper 60s. Saturday, we'll have partly sunny skies, couple of isolated showers with highs in the lower 80s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Cloudy skies and 70 degrees here in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. It's 29 minutes after 8 o'clock, almost 8:30. Cloudy skies will be with us throughout the day today. Beautiful weekend coming up. Next week, sunny and nice. You're listening to WCAB 100.9 FM and on the web at WCABAM590.com. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning. It's good to be with you this morning in Rutherford County and those that are listening. We had a very sad program on Wednesday. Bonnie's here with us today, and this is Bonnie's sister, Robin. And we've been bringing you testimonies of what God has done in the lives of those members at the Word of Faith Fellowship. Bonnie went through one of the most saddest child abuse her life that I've ever heard. And Robin also, she's here today to finish the story. If you remember on Wednesday, we cautioned you that the program would have very explicit details regarding what happened to them and warned that it would not be appropriate for children. And we also give you that warning today. Their mother was in Satanism, and she sold them as sex slaves into child prostitution. They lived in a house with other children for 9 months and saw people murdered. Finally, at the end of 9 months, they escaped, and they made it back home, and their dad committed their mother to a mental hospital. They tried to go to the authorities then, and authorities would not listen to them. Today, they're going to bring us the rest of the story, how in such deep darkness, God found them and brought them out into the light. Bonnie, go ahead.
When I was in 6th grade, I had a teacher called Miss Triburi who I really loved. And I would go to her house after school, and she started asking me, saying, "Something's wrong with you, Bonnie. Something is wrong with you. What is wrong with you?" Well, I started to talk to her and open up to her. And then, I don't know what happened, but my mother forbid me to ever go see her again. And that was the last person I tried to get help with. And then as I grew up, I had so much fear. I never wanted a relationship. I had so much fear and hatred for men. But when I was 19, my sister and I went to it was like a restaurant bar, and I met this man there. And I watched him for months. We were friends, but there was something so different about him. And there was something in me that felt safe and that really, really cared about him, really, really loved him. And then when I went back, he was so angry with me, he totally cut me off, and I never knew why. For years, I never knew why. And I remember I felt like that day my heart was just shattered in a million pieces. And a few months later, I ended up in a very abusive relationship. I had my son, Cassidy, who was a great blessing to me. And then I just began to be so tormented. I know I just smoked pot all the time because I just wanted to live in another world. I didn't even know what to do with my own self. I had so much fear at that time, I wouldn't even leave my apartment. I only went to work or the grocery store. And I mean, the fear in me, even to take my son outside to play. And the panic attacks I had, I mean, I just didn't even know what to do with myself anymore. And one day my sister called me, and she started telling me about God and this person she met that was so different. And she is the only person in my life I would ever listen to. And because I trusted her and I didn't trust anybody else in this world, and she began to tell me about God, and I know somewhere my heart began to want God. And so I moved back to Connecticut because I had lived in Colorado. I moved back to Connecticut with Robin, and we started going to church together. And like I said the other day, it's where I met Carol and Jane Whaley. And then and I would go back and forth to seminars. But then in 1994, I moved in with Brooke and Kent Covington. And I lived with them for 2 years. And I can tell you, they are the first ever authority figures in my life that did not live a double life. They lived what they believed. They were the same all the time. And I mean, I can't say enough of the integrity and honesty in Kent Covington. And Brooke, I mean, she is like Robin to me. And I never saw them have strife. I never saw them have one unkind word to each other. And I know that changed my life. I knew that I could stay here. I knew it was going to be okay. And a little while later, you know, I began remembering all those things again because I had just pushed them down for years because what do you do with it? I mean, I just couldn't stand remembering it and feeling all those feelings and all that again and just being lost in it. So I remember the only person I felt like I could tell was Jane Whaley. She's the only person that I truly trusted. And, you know, for 2 years, God began to just show me all these things. And I know for 2 years, it didn't matter the time of day, the time of night, what she was involved in. It did not matter. She stopped everything and she helped me. And I can say she is the only person that never doubted me. She never judged me. She never attacked my life, because I knew if someone had ever attacked me or disbelieved me, that was it. I mean, I would have left. I would have shut down my heart forever, and I'd probably be dead today. And that I am eternally grateful, because she, through her life, I finally saw the true love of God. I finally saw there was a God who loved you, who wanted to help you, who didn't want to leave you in whatever mess you're in. And because I never felt like there was any hope for my life. And then, you know, during that period, I had so many questions because I didn't understand anything that we went through. And one of my greatest questions to God was, where were you in my life? And I will never forget, because this changed my life forever. And God began to speak to me that He gives every man a will. That will is yours. That will is mine. I can do whatever I want with it. Not even God Almighty can control a person's will. He can plead with them. He can do anything, but He cannot make a person do right or do wrong. It's our choice. And I know He tried to get to my mother's heart. He tried to do anything to help her, and she did not want it. And I know through circumstances, God is the one who changed our lives. God is the one who brought us out of that, who spared our lives, who kept us alive. And He began to show me different people throughout my life that helped me not to be so overwhelmed that I just wanted to die. It was like a breath of fresh air, certain people throughout my life that kept me until God could bring me to a place where I could be healed and restored. And one day we were in praise and worship in the church, and I remember God, I will never forget it. God spoke to me and said, "Why do you hate me for what the devil did to you?" And I remember just standing there thinking, I did. I hated God. I blamed God for everything, like God is the one in control. He can do anything. But again, He can't go beyond a person's will. And, you know, and then the devil is the one, the Bible says, comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Because God is good. There's only goodness in God. And the devil is the one, and that changed my life. Because how could I serve a God who I hated and blamed for everything? And I think the other thing that absolutely changed my life was God began to deal with my heart about all the anger and hatred and murder that was in my heart for all those people, not just my mother, all of them. And I realized that day that I'm going to be the same as them. I mean, they had so much anger, hatred, murder, they didn't care what they did. And I had the same thing in my heart, and I didn't want it to be there. And I remember that day I chose to forgive, and that was probably the greatest deliverance you could get, is when you choose to forgive. Because, and God spoke to me, He said, "Bonnie, you are not going to stand before me and give an account for anything those people did to you. But what you did with your heart, you will. Because I'm here, and I can change you, and I can restore you, and I can make it like it happened to another person." And that's what I've truly seen God done in my life. I mean, I can go back and remember so many things, and it's like it happened to another person. And really, the miracle I saw this just a few months ago, a situation I told you about with that man when I was 19, and several months ago, I remembered that after that happened, when he cut me off and he was so angry at me and I never knew why, the next day I went to my mother's house and she said to me, "How's so-and-so?" And she said that person's name. And it was, I mean, the only way I know how to describe it, I felt like a knife went through me. Because there was no way she would have known except my sister told her. And I knew that between her and my sister, they lied. Somehow, to make him believe something about me that wasn't true.
Your other sister? Oldest sister.
My oldest sister, not Robin.
Yeah, no.
But the miracle was when God showed me there was nothing in my heart that was even angry with her. I mean, that is a complete miracle. And through all that, God had given me a scripture It says, what would have become of me if I didn't believe I would see the Lord's goodness in the land of the living? And that's what I've seen in my life. God's absolute goodness to my life. And, you know, when people go through all that abuse, you can't function as a child. You can't function, you can't think, you can't study, you can't. And I know my report cards were horrible. I mean, F's, D's, a few C's. I mean, I just couldn't even function. I couldn't think straight. But I know after God began to restore me, I went back to college years later, and I graduated with a 4.0 in accounting and business management, and that is a miracle.
You were also named Who's Who among junior colleges,
Yes.
which is such an honor.
Yeah, it was such a miracle. I know God did that for me. And I can say today, I love my life. I mean, I love getting up. I love my life every day. I love my family. I love my church family. I mean, they are my true family because they have been the one who have stood by me, who have helped me, who have loved me, who have encouraged me. And, you know, there's another scripture in Matthew that says a dimly burning wick he will not quench. And I think that's probably the greatest testimony because that dimly burning wick he didn't put out, and that's all we had left was a speck inside our heart. And God came down to reach that, and he can change the heart of any man if we'll just ask him.
My name is Robin, and I was 2 years younger than Bonnie, and when this started, I was 5 and she was 7. And, you know, like Bonnie said, it was the choices my mother made. It was what the devil did in our life, not what God did in our life. And she made a lot of wrong decisions because she was very, very bitter at what she thought the outcome of her life was. She was trapped with us. That's how she felt. She despised us. She hated us. She loathed seeing our faces in the morning. She hated that we were born. And out of that place, she decided one day that she was going to live for herself, and she was going to remove us from her life. And she did that through locking us out of the house. She'd send us out in the morning and lock the door. I don't care how long you banged on that door, she wouldn't open it. So that meant we had to go to the bathroom outside in the woods. We had no food. We had to literally work the neighborhood. God, let me tell you, God has a man everywhere. In the cry of your heart, God has a man everywhere. God placed those neighbors in our neighborhood, and they literally took care of us. I don't know if they knew the extent of what was going on in our home, but they were there. I mean, God has a man everywhere for you. And you know, those neighbors pulled us through when you didn't think you could make it another moment, another day, another hour. And as my mother decided to go into this lifestyle, my dad played professional basketball, as Bonnie had said, and he was away a lot traveling. And my mom took the money that he sent for our food and for whatever we needed, and she spent it on herself. Her clothes, the sky's the limits.
Her drugs and alcohol.
Her drinking, her alcohol, her lifestyle. And through that lifestyle, she got deeper and deeper. And as it escalated, the abuse in our house got greater and greater. And every day, she damned us to hell. Every day, you heard those words, damn you kids to hell, damn you kids to hell. Just those words alone. The Bible talks about the power of the spoken word. And it's a miracle we're here when she cursed us every day of our lives. And as Bonnie said, she stood us in the corner hours and hours and hours. If you even lifted up your leg, you'd have to stand longer. She had your face in that corner that you couldn't even look to see where she was. And the cruelty and the brutality that went on as she got deeper and deeper in that Satanism was horrifying. She locked us out of the house. She pushed us down the stairs. If she decided we weren't going down the stairs that day, she pushed us down the stairs. She locked us in the attic. For days she locked us in that attic. She would wash our mouth out with soap if she felt like we said something she didn't like, and it was violent. She'd make us chew it. She choked us. We didn't have very many toys. If we did, they were destroyed. As she went deeper and deeper in the Satanism, the evil that took her over, took our house over. And we ended up with our bedroom with a bed, no sheet, and a bureau. That was our bedroom. We didn't have toys. She destroyed everything. And through all that, that's when she got to the level where she put us on that city bus and sent us down to that house where they had those Satanist rituals and put us in child prostitution. And she had no heart. And you know, when you're a little girl, through a 5-year-old's eyes, you can't trust anybody, because the people that were involved in that were people who were supposed to protect you in life. People were supposed to nurture you and take care of you. And every time you thought, oh, well, maybe you can help us, they turned and became like my mother because of the level of Satanism they were getting to. And so I had no dad because he was traveling, no mother, no authority. You had nothing. And I had this doll named Susu, and I absolutely adored this doll. And again, through a child's eyes, I thought she was real. I loved her. She was my security. She was my stability. Everything in me I put into this doll. I absolutely adored her. And my mother came one day, and she knew how I felt about Susu, and she took a butcher knife and she butchered that doll. It felt like, in a child's eyes, in 1,000,000 pieces. And that shattered me. I can't tell you what that did to me. And so at that point, that's when the men came, as Bonnie said, and she didn't want to go any deeper. And so she sold us. They drove us. Like Bonnie said, they mocked us. We ended up in Bridgeport in a dark room. We lived in darkness. I mean, you're a little child in a dark room with nothing. You don't know when anybody's coming. You don't know where they're going to take you. And you're waiting, and the torment of the waiting, of the door opening. And when we finally escaped that and went home, you're a child. You're running, you're hoping, you're running to the house. You're thinking, I'm going to be safe. I'm going to make it home. I'm going to get there. And you get there, and she opens the door and says, I thought I got rid of you. And that day, she wanted us to say that we were at my grandmother's, and Bonnie wouldn't do it. I was not like Bonnie. Bonnie was a fighter. I just wanted it to be over. I couldn't handle it. When I was in that dark room, I trained myself how to leave. I could be there physically, but I left in my mind. And I lived in a whole nother world. I could literally leave and not. So at that, what I did with my mind to do that, I couldn't function in school. I got F's and D's like Bonnie. I was so ashamed, but I couldn't handle it. It was just as torturous at school as it was at home, because all they did was make fun of you, because they'd ask you a question and you had been gone somewhere else and you'd never know the answer. So school was as torturous as being at home. And so that day when Bonnie wouldn't go with it with my mother, that's when she went crazy. And the Bible says that you become like an animal. A man without God becomes like a beast. And she went crazy. And she bit a huge chunk out of my leg. And when my dad walked in, that's the day she was committed. Yes. And you know, I always remember the neighbors coming over with food. I don't know if they knew she was in a state mental hospital. I really don't know. But she was very lethargic. And as time went on, you know, it dulled everything in her. And my dad got that job, and we moved to another town, and everything changed. We had dinner at 5. That's how it was. We lived like the Cleavers. And you take craziness one day, and then dinner at 5. How do you function in that? You can't. You can't, your mind is shot. To say that the Word of Faith Fellowship abuses children is such absurdity. If a child is abused, they cannot function. They cannot do well in school. They can't score. They don't even have a mind left. Your complete soul, spirit, and body is completely shattered. You're destroyed. And the one thing I saw when I came to the Word of Faith Fellowship was the children. That's the first thing I noticed was the children. I mean, these people adore children. They esteem children. They respect children. They regard children. I have never in my life been anywhere that treats children with that level of respect. We were taught, you are not heard. You're seen, but you're not heard. You deserve everything you get. Everything we did, my mother said, you deserved it. That's how we grew up. And all through high school, God in His mercy kept drawing us and drawing us and drawing us. And I got a job in a hairdressing place, and I met a woman, and she knew Bobby Valentine, and he became a pastor, and she invited me to that church, and I went. And that's the church. That's when I called Bonnie. And I said, we found something here. I really believe this is God. And Bonnie came, and we went to church there, and we started to come to seminars down here in North Carolina, and met Carol. I love Carol so much. And I remember calling Carol one time and saying, Carol, I just feel like I'm going to go crazy. And she said, do you want to go crazy? And I said, no. She said, then don't. And I'm like, that word set me free. I didn't have to go crazy if I didn't want to. I mean, it is a person's will and a person's decision whether they're going to go crazy or not. And that's the thing. People have always said, well, where was God? Why didn't God stop that? And God was there the whole time. God was there holding our hands in that dark room. God was in the child pornography with us. God was there the whole time, through our neighbors, through one teacher I absolutely adored. God was there through our Grammy. God was there showing us the love of God, keeping that little flame of hope another day to hold on till He could work it and move it. And like Bonnie said, people have a will. They choose what they want to do, and they don't realize that their sin affects everyone around them, and that's what happened. My mother's sin was so great. The Bible talks about in Revelations the depths of Satan, and that's where my mother went. She went into the depths of Satan and dragged us with her against our will. And God has major restoring power. Yes. And I mean, it's a miracle we can sit here today with sound minds. And it all started, like Bonnie said, through forgiveness. And that was the hardest thing in the world for me to do, was to forgive my mother, because I thought if I forgave her, she would get away with it. She would never have to pay for what she did. But God showed me, no, there is a book, and everything you've done in your life is in that book, and it will be read, and there is one death and a judgment, and the books will be open, and she will not get away with it. We don't get away with anything on this earth. And I wanted to talk about Jane Whaley, because all of the horrific things that have been spoken against her is complete, utter lies. And I have never in my life met a woman who is so full of the love of God, the understanding of God, the compassion of God, the caring, the nurturing. Like Bonnie said, I can't tell you a time that I've picked up that phone that she has not answered it and helped me, wanted to help me, loved to help me, and hold your hand. Carol's held our hand through the whole thing. And it's really the forgiveness of God that brings you out. And I chose that day to forgive my mother. And I can tell you, I don't hold anything against my mother. Nothing.
Anybody.
I love my mother. All those people, we forgave all those people because we want to be free. It affected our lives. We want to be free. We want to be with Jesus. We want to go to heaven. We want to love God for the rest of our lives. And later, I became, a hairdresser, and I own my own business here, and my daughter's with me, which is such a blessing, and my son, her husband, and I have a grandson, Landon. He's just wonderful, and I get to take care of him every day, and he will never know any of this. And I just can't tell you how grateful to God I am for bringing us out.
Yes, and I know I'm so grateful that God finally brought us to a place that we never had to fear being abused again. I mean, when I walked through those doors of the Word of Faith Fellowship the first time, Robin and I came and for a children's seminar, and I will never forget it because I knew it was the place we belonged. I knew it. I knew it was what I searched for all my life without even knowing it. And like I said, I never, ever feared being abused again. And God's restoring power, I can't say enough. And I want to go back and read that scripture I started with in Isaiah 46 again, where it says, "Listen to me, says the Lord, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel. You who have been carried by me from your birth, you have been carried in my arms from the womb, even to your old age." I'm 56. I am he, and even to your advanced old age, I will carry you. I made you, I will carry you. Be assured, I will carry you, and I will save you. And that's what he did for our lives.
Such a miracle. Such a miracle, and you're such a miracle in the church, and you feel the hope that comes from their hearts, and they've brought that hope to so many people, and you've touched so many lives, and we love you with our whole heart. Thank you for listening today. It's been, I know, one of the saddest stories we've ever heard, but it's the greatest of hope and light and healing and restoration that came into our lives, and that's what Word of Faith Fellowship is all about.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. Go ahead, Bonnie.
Because, when God began to go back and show me the things that happened to me, I would turn my heart to him, because I know people think, well, how can you ever come out of it? But when I would turn my heart to him and I would cry out to him and I would tell him whatever I felt, I was angry, I was hurt, I was enraged, whatever it is, I just began to pour my heart out to Jesus and tell him everything I ever felt. And like that scripture says, it says he came to set the captives free.
Right.
He came to set free those who are crushed by tragedy. And the devil makes sure we are all crushed by tragedy. Whatever it is in our life, he makes sure that he goes after to destroy any heart we have. And it doesn't matter the depths or the lengths of abuse. Abuse is abuse, and it hurts people. It destroys people's lives. It tries to make you into something that God never intended you to be. I have a picture at home that I always look at when I was a child before all the abuse happened. And the happiness that was in me. I loved people. And then I just grew up somebody who was locked down, who didn't want anybody around me. And today, I love people. I love people. And it's such a miracle. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you are. If you cry out to Jesus, he will answer you.
And it is a message of hope, Bonnie.
It is.
And that's what we preach. Our doctrines are on the website, wordoffaithfellowship.org. We believe in Jesus, the gospel of Jesus Christ, and hope. And it was a program of hope. Thank you so much. And we'll be with you again on Monday. And on behalf of our pastor, Sam and Jane Whaley, and all the members of Word of Faith Fellowship, we bless you. We're praying for you. And have a wonderful weekend.